Good evening and welcome to Women Crushing It Wednesday. How's everybody doing tonight? How are my girls?
Whew,
Good, good,
ready.
good.
Good.
It's
Ready?
Wednesday.
Good and ready.
Someone,
Good and ready. I love it. It's
someone
been
for the
back to
weekend.
back. We were on last night with B Style on HCP. So it's nice. Nice.
Yeah, everybody's getting a double dose of us this week. And you know what? Yesterday the show was awesome. If anybody missed it, please go back and watch it. Nancy, where can they find it?
So everybody, you can follow me on Twitter and you'll see the link there. You also want to follow D Style. It's part of the HCP network. So the HCP show with D Style is on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And it was ladies' night last night. So
It
it was good
was.
times. We had a lot of fun. We invaded, right? D Style
We kind of
show.
took
We
over a
did.
little bit, but
We
It
did.
was
I
good
mean,
times. It was good
women
times. Lots
tend
of
to
great
do that. We
topics.
tend to take over. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Nike, did you have a good time on the show?
Yeah, I did. I did. I wish that I would have like brushed up on my singing because Nancy and this stuff kind of broke out in a
Who
You
duet, and
know,
I was like, oh, I didn't know we were singing tonight.
D Style, he busts out with the karaoke like every other show. He's got the voice for it, so I'm like, all right, go for it. If I know this song, I'll follow along, or I'll like provide the backbeat. For
Yeah, Nancy's like in the background, just
I'll just be
No,
the
yeah, I've
fly
been
girl,
good. I
like in
was
the
like,
back.
hey, I don't even know if this is a thing anymore, but I'm like, drop that mixtape. You know what I'm saying?
I
I mean,
know.
my kids might be like, oh, that's so old. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. But today we're just laid back. We're just talking. We're having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Something that we've all seen on Twitter, and I want to just kind of put out there is it looks like Tio's having a breakdown. He goes from sending things about God to he's going to send people to take care of the liars that are lying on him. And I'm just like, the man obviously needs something, Nika, what do you feel about this?
I don't know if he has a PR person, but they need to take his phone away from him. Um, let's like stay off social media and get whatever you need to sort it out because like he's like me when I start venting on social media, the trolls and stuff like that just make it worse. So
Mm-hmm.
and
Hmm.
one like you said, 1 minute he's trying to be positive and posting inspirational quotes and stuff like that, and then you'll get like a troll that says something disrespectful, and then he's like, I'm gonna get the killers on you, so he's like
Right.
he's just making himself
Hmm.
look more like unhinged. So he really needs
Right.
to stay off of social media. That's one of my suggestions. And then two, get help with whatever issues he has going on, because it definitely
Yep.
doesn't look good. So
Yeah.
Yep.
it
And,
definitely looks
and
unhinged and out of control. So
well, the thing is like, who is there to help him? Who's going to say, man, like you said, does
yeah,
he have
because
a
I
PR
don't think it's his
person?
father. It's not going to be his
Yeah,
father
like
because his
who's
father is part
who's
of the
going
problem.
to
To me,
who's going to be that person? Nancy, what do you think about what you've seen?
So Nika, I hadn't thought about this till you just touched on it, but we do know that there's a history, a past there of issues with the father, right? So some years back, I think that was something that was very public that he was going through with the dad, where I don't know the details. Honestly, I can't remember, but I just know that there was just some friction between him and dad, right? Because then he was also very vocal in public about how, hey, we're good, I'm with dad, it's all good. I think that whatever emotions he's going through, they're neither right or wrong. They're his emotions. Everybody processes things differently. And I think he's still processing, the last fight. He's processing being a father. He's processing being a public figure. It is a lot. But it's like I said with Ryan. We talked about this with Ryan. They're now at a pay scale where you can afford to have people that help
Mm-hmm.
with these things, right? You
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
see so many celebrities, you see so many athletes, that professional athletes that do have a person that's dedicated to managing either their social media or simply being a PR person to help guide them, right? Because um, it's the perception, the optics that you deliver. You have to protect your brand that's inside and outside of the ring, and what you share and your thoughts and views and everything, that's part of your brand, you know? So I agree with Nika. He definitely needs to have somebody step up, not to like be all suppressing his feelings, right? I mean, he can deal with them, but he needs to deal with them privately. Because it's like Nika said, it's this roller coaster, right? Where he's trying to be like positive and talk about, you know, his faith. And then someone, you know, makes comments and he reads that. Well, then of course he's going to turn to getting upset and defensive. And so, you know, who knows?
Absolutely. I think that we all as human beings have those up and down moments, you know,
I have them.
where
I
we're
have them
very
all the time.
happy. Yeah, but then there's some that you know, are manic depressed, or
Mm-hmm.
they have anxiety. So everything is amplified. You know, and I feel like
Right.
that's where he's going. And you know, Nancy, you brought up a good point about, yeah, you have money and now you can pay someone, but you think about it, it's like these guys are like, I'm not going to pay somebody to tell me no. The people that they're paying are
Yeah.
telling them yes, like they don't want to get off the
Yeah.
payroll.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's like it
Yep.
has to be somebody that doesn't care about the money, that doesn't
Right.
care about the fame, that just says, look, man, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to stop. Because to me, it's showing me that he doesn't have another outlet but social media. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously
Media.
he doesn't have
Yeah.
anyone to talk to. For
Yep.
me, that's sad.
Yep.
Allegedly, you know, he put his hands on his baby mama, and you know what? That's unacceptable. I don't care what you're going through. It's unacceptable. Like I said, it's allegedly. We don't know. We haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that he needs help. Um, and
Yeah.
and there's a lot of bullies in social media, you know, mean girls, mean boys, and they're attacking him. You know, they're attacking and pecking the wounded chicken,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it's very sad. But Nika, you know, you brought up a good point about the PR. It's like I believe that once you can afford somebody
Mm-hmm.
to represent you, you know, um, that you need somebody that can say, don't wear that, don't say that, don't do that, don't take these interviews, because it paints a bad picture. And that's
Exactly.
how what I believe.
Yep, that's
But you
exactly true. It's
know,
like
I don't even.
it's like NFL players when they're or I wait, let me I retract that because it's not just NFL players and I'll get, you know, just the celebrity athletes, right, that go off and get, you know, DUIs and so on. It's like you can afford to pay for an Uber, right?
Right,
But they
right,
don't do
right.
it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of relate this to that. It's like you
Hmm.
can afford to have someone just manage this piece of your
Hmm.
life for you. You know, sorry, Nika.
Absolutely.
No, but I think that even a PR person right now probably couldn't help him because
Right.
they
It's too
he would
deep.
just have to be off of social media, period. Like he
Hmm.
whatever he has going on definitely needs to be uh worked on, and but
Mhm.
his social media, he needs to stay off of social media. And I don't think a PR person can stop that. So it's just like,
Right. At
he
Yeah.
owns
this
a
point,
phone.
he's
He
a
owns a
train
phone,
wreck.
he's gonna yeah, so he just needs somebody to come in and just like you said, he don't need a yes man. He needs somebody in and just like give him a lifestyle change, just let him, tackle
Mhm.
all the issues that he has. If he has to take a break from boxing and go into a mental facility, that's what you got to do. But you got to
Right.
take care of you first. So I
That's
mean,
And it's
true.
not going to
I
be.
heard
It's
the
not going
rumors
to.
too about
Mhm.
the alleged um,
Right.
abuse.
Yeah.
So I don't really. So a part of me doesn't really have sympathy for him. But if I
Right.
still, he's a human being, so he still needs help. I don't want to see
Right.
anybody do anything crazy to themselves or whatever. But this is something that once you put it on social media, and then I feel like us as fans, we feel obligated to know what's going on in people's personal, like, to athletes' personal life. But to be honest, it's really none of our business. But once
Yeah.
you start posting on social media, you open up
You make it
the
our
bag.
business.
Yeah, you make
Yeah.
it our business, and you're open for the comments and the trolling and all that other stuff. Like nobody would be speaking about what's going on with him right now if he wasn't posting crazy stuff on social media.
That's true. That's
Like
true.
we
You
don't
know,
Yeah.
know what he's
And
going through.
it's a combination of things that need to happen, right? It's like when someone has an issue and they see a psychiatrist and they're on medication. Well, that's not the end all. Like
mhm,
that has to be worked on in combination with talk therapy, right? So
right.
it's a little bit of that. It's like, okay, get someone to help with this piece of it, but he also needs a couple other resources to help him with the rest of what he's dealing with, right? So
Absolutely.
I think also what makes this, in my opinion, it just makes it a little sadder is that there's a baby involved, right? So I
Mhm,
did catch the post. I didn't catch all posts, but I did catch the post where he posted a pic of his baby and just made a comment
mhm,
about the issues, not
mhm,
being able to see
mhm.
him. So it's a lot, and going to the sport, taking this to the sport, we understand how important having that emotional mental clarity is when you're getting in the ring, right?
Right. Oh
So
yeah.
we'll have to just kind of see and monitor how this plays itself out leading up to the fight, and if this any of this has any impact, on how that fight shakes out. So
Well, and then, talking about him and what's been going on, it just like leads to other things like how many celebrities and world champs put things out there
hmm
that maybe they shouldn't. Like, just
hmm
sometimes they put too much stuff out there, in y'all's
hmm
opinion. Should they be more guarded? What do you think, Nancy? Should
you
they
have
be
to
more
be
guarded, just
selective.
not put things out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be selective because this is your livelihood, right? So you're a
Mhm.
public figure and you are counting on that likability or that following to then get you your income, right? So there does
Right,
have to
right.
be some level of disclosure. Maybe it's the occasional family picture. Maybe it's the, occasional here I am running down the streets working out. Like there's pieces that it is nice for them to share because that's how they
Right.
win over people and that's how you get
Sure.
a following, right? But there's also the boundaries, and there's things that you at that level really do need to just kind of keep uh, on the personal side and not disclose, right? And that's again where
Absolutely.
a public relations firm
Mhm.
or individual would come into
Or a
play
mama's
and be able.
gonna
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. With all of this, it's interesting to me because his dad is so involved and is very like the type to hog the spotlight. I'm surprised that he
right,
hasn't come out and
involved for
said anything.
him or
Honestly.
involved for himself. That's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
Yep.
Nika, what do you think? I mean, sometimes some of these, celebrity boxers, world champs, former world champs put too much out there on social media.
Yeah, they do. I believe they do. And I know some of them just like to interact with fans and just like, be social, but the fans are just not forgiving. Some of them are ignorant. A lot
Mhm.
of them are
A
ignorant.
lot of them.
Um, a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm not even a celebrity or a athlete, and I get a lot of
You are
stuff,
a
and I can't
celebrity.
handle it. No,
No,
and
I
it's like
get
it's
you.
too much. And I don't even like put that much of myself on there. Like I don't tell most
Right.
none of my business on there. Like I'll
Right.
post if I'm somewhere like vacation. Like they
Right.
some of these people swear they know your life. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's if I don't put that much on there and I get all that and a fighter, they could put a picture of their daughter up or something and then you'll just have
Right.
this one ignorant person and be like,
Sure.
oh, she's
Family
ugly
stuff
or something
or
like that.
whatever,
Yeah.
And
whatever. Yeah.
I would lose my fucking mind. I would lose
Yeah.
my fucking mind. And
Absolutely.
you know,
Same.
it's sad that they can't do that because there's so many ignorant trolls online. But
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And stalkers.
especially when you're going through something, you definitely need to not post anything on social media because people
That's
don't want to
true.
hear what you're going through or like they're not forgiving. So,
And
mm.
and and
But it's
Lee
like,
made
but
a
it's like you
good
said,
point.
Christine.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like you said though. I think that it is pretty much telling us that they maybe have no other outlet,
Right.
right? Or the
Yeah.
relationships that they
They're
keep aren't
looking for
such that
for
they feel
help, for
comfortable
it's a
enough
cry.
to speak to.
Sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. But Lee Groves has has a valid point that I was going to talk about next. Social media posts are fair game in legal proceedings. So the less said and shown, the better. It's true. I mean, he's going to possibly want to get, I don't know how the situation is, if they have joint custody or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but things like that are very detrimental in his case for even having maybe joint custody or, whatever,
Yeah.
it's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see what else, comes before the weekend. Looks like he's
Yeah.
traveling. He's in the motherland, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. And there's our girl
Yeah.
Esme. Shout out
Esme,
to
yes.
Esme,
Hello. We
fotógrafa
love
de
our
la
girl.
gente.
I like the way she says
Absolutely.
photographer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I miss her
Nancy and
saying
Esme
that.
can do that. Absolutely. Today, hey Kenny, hey everybody in the chat, everybody, we want to say hi to everybody. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. And if anybody wants to call and shout out or ask a question, then definitely do. So D Styles, she's in the Facebook chat. That's where we see her. So today was National Girls and Women in Sports Day. And I think that's wonderful. It's like a shout out to all of our women that are grinding and doing their thing in sports.
Mhm.
You know, you see posts. I mean, for me particularly, it's always boxing because that's the only sport. Sorry, guys, that I follow, and I don't even
Yeah.
have the time to follow any other sport really. I mean, my Cowboys were done, so But you see promoters, managers, coaches that highlight certain women or whatever, and you think it's for everybody, and
Mhm.
how do you give these women their just notoriety?
Mhm.
And when you do post about them, and knowing that you haven't given some, I'm trying to talk around things.
And
No.
I'm over here like you're just listening.
how do
Trying to
you
fumble it.
how do you highlight certain women when you've kind of dogged or dismissed other women? It baffles me for
Yeah.
people that are in the boxing world and know backstories. It's very
Mhm.
telling. Does that make sense without me just
Yep.
really just
No.
okay? Okay.
No, it
I
makes
mean,
sense. It just you know what? It
I'm
just means
walking
that
on
we still have a long
eggshells.
way to go. It just means that we still
Okay.
have a long way to go, right? Because there's still a lot of s- selectivity, right? There's still a lot of like just kind of picking and choosing. Um, when we do need to get to a point where the candidate pool is the candidate pool because it's the best talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a fighter being chosen based on that within that candidate pool, and not being selective for any other reasons, right? And I think
Right.
we're still seeing a lot of that. So we've seen a big increase in just the following of female boxing. So I think that's a great thing. We're seeing a lot more being done. I think the Serrano fight is um, definitely like the best example, of how far we've come just in the past couple of years. But there's still a lot to do. There's still a lot of work to do. So, we'll see what comes of it. But the hope is that, for those promoters, for those managers that are being, selective and maybe excluding
Mm-hmm.
the talent out there for whatever reasons they might have, that starts to change, and that the women that have really paid way and earned it start getting a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Nika, Nadia, what do you say that? Hey, I say about the hey chicken.
hey, chicken.
What do you
Chicken!
say?
I still
Like
need
I
to
said,
post
I'm
my
trying to
picture with her. Sorry.
yeah, no, you gotta post it. I'm like kind of tippy
You
toeing,
like
walking
slid
on
it around
eggshell.
it
But
like.
you feel me, girl. What do you got to say about it?
Well, sometimes a lot of these people that work in boxing, they post things about female fighters on like Women's Sports Day and stuff like that out of guilt, really, because they haven't done what they're supposed to do and to help the women in the sport. But to me, I kind of find it funny. It's funny to see how people like, they don't, they're so wishy-washy and so
Mm-hmm,
phony,
mm-hmm,
not
mm-hmm.
official. It's like, it's crazy. Because I know the post that you're talking about, but I see you trying to dance around it, so I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna touch it because you
Uh-huh.
did
We
a
just
good job
skating
of like
around. We skating
staying
around.
around. Yeah. But hopefully in the future, because I feel like people are starting to notice that women are, uh, essential to the sport of boxing. I
Right.
mean, the Amanda Serrano and the Katie Taylor fight is like, that's one big accomplishment. So maybe
Oh
people will
yeah.
start actually jumping on the bandwagon and actually doing and supporting the women like they're supposed to, and not just tweeting about it.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And we have made such strides as women in boxing. At least as women's boxing has experienced ups and downs throughout history, but I believe the wave will result in permanent status, better fights, better exposure, and better money. And you know what? It is getting to that. Like I see it. It's kind of, it's a shame, but it's true. But it goes back with, you know, uh, um, a lot of different things in history where we had to earn our right to be able to do things in a quote unquote men's world sport. And
Mhm.
but you know what, like I said, it's happened with other with gender, with race,
Hmm.
with sexuality, with everything. It's all a fight, it's all a struggle, nothing just comes easy. And I think we've made strides. And we talked about the round table last night. I think Jake Paul is actually helping open those doors for women, getting more pay and giving them more exposure. I mean, look, we have Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano as a main event. Like, come on.
This
It's
guy,
like,
this guy, I'm like, are
mm-hmm,
you really getting me to agree with you right now?
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
from day one,
right,
because from
right,
from
right.
day one, I'm like, nope, not for me.
Same,
And then he comes
same.
out and is showing to be one of the best allies for women's boxing.
Mm-hmm,
He is putting his money where his mouth is, and is actually advocating for very legitimate things
yeah,
for the sport as a whole, right? And
right,
I found myself just taking a step back, and I'm thinking, man, this fool's actually getting me to agree with him.
right,
So
right.
he's doing more than others have done that have the
Absolutely.
platform to do it, right?
Right, right.
And taking it a step further, a good leader leads by example. In my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you want to be able to roll your sleeves and get in there, with your team, and show that and experience that and know what they're going through. He kind of did that. He got into the sport, experienced the sport and the business, and so now he's advocating, for Amanda. As
Absolutely.
much
Yeah,
as
I'll support him. I'll support him as a manager and like promoter thing, but I'm still not a fan of him as boxing.
yeah.
I can't
You
do
don't
See,
it.
want to see him
girl, so
I
that's
box.
where you
can't
and
do
I
it.
we're right
Yeah,
here. Yeah, we're
yeah, I
Yeah.
right
can't do
here.
it. But as what he's doing, for as a promoter and manager, I'm with you, Jake Paul. But the boxing, you're not gonna get me.
Yeah,
I can't
I
do it.
like what he's doing for that. JC says, I feel Jake Paul be capping, but who knows? Well, if he's capping, he's capping with that money, and he's
Hmm.
capping with his actions. So I'm about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely about it. Eduardo says women's boxing has reached the peak since the '90s. I think anything higher, I don't see. But um,
Hmm.
okay.
And this is some of the things we've talked about this before. Like, this is some of what bothers me when I see Mayweather doing like random shenanigans and Dubai on a
Mm-hmm,
helipad.
mm-hmm.
It's like, but you could instead be investing that visibility, time, and money into the sport, into
Right,
women's boxing.
right,
So
right.
that's what really grinds my gears when it
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
to
no,
that.
that's true. This is funny, JC. So I don't really care. He said Jake Paul didn't write any of the stuff that he said today. I honestly, when you're a public speaker, a president, or anybody else, you usually don't write your own words. And you know what? Whether he did or didn't, it doesn't matter to me. He was there, and there's going to be a phenomenal female fight, main event, Madison Square Garden, two of the best going head to head. And whether he writes his stuff or not, I don't care. I'm not going to nitpick. I'm going to be grateful. But that's me, because
and if
we've been doing this.
If he did, I think it's also because with this initiative, he's really trying to capture and targeting a different audience. It's not just the boxing fans, but I think from a business perspective, he's also looking at that angle. So this is where he did what we're saying Tio should have done, which is probably have PR, get his words together, do the pictures. And because if y'all missed it, they also did the opening bell at Wall Street.
Right.
That's huge.
Right. That is huge.
Yeah.
That is freaking huge. I think there was one other time that happened. I can't remember who it was. Somebody in the chat remind me. Soapbox boxing
Crawford
podcast
did it.
ladies.
Crawford opened
Was it Crawford? Okay, it was Crawford. I was actually freaking in New York. Yes, you're absolutely right. It was Crawford. I was there in New York. Thank you, Nika. Soapbox boxing podcast said, "Ladies, who wins, Taylor or Serrano?" Just tuning in. If you covered it already, we did not. Nika, who wins? Are you ready to say, or are you not saying yet?
I have Serrano winning.
Okay,
but I think it's gonna go all the way.
Okay.
But I have Serrano winning. And the way she pummeled the last opponent, her face looked like I said, like
she did not look like the same person.
She looked like me after I eat some shellfish. Her face was done. I was like, ooh,
I was like, who is this person? It's somebody else.
I know, she was unrecognizable. It was like, wow, she
really was.
Yeah,
exactly. So, Nancy, who do you have? Are you ready to say, or you want to wait for a minute?
I'll say this: it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a really good fight. I do think that I'm leaning towards Amanda, based on Katie's last fight. It was a really, really good fight. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. It was a really, really good fight. The opponent is actually, I couldn't think, Lee, help me out with who the opponent was, because it's skipping my mind. But she was really good.
She was very well decorated, amateur and professional.
I was impressed with the opponent. I was impressed with, and you're all going to say, well, if you're impressed, why can't you remember the name? She was really good. Yeah. She was really, really good. I was impressed. And I was thinking, okay, she had a bit of a hard time with that. So seeing what Amanda can do in the ring, I'm leaning towards Amanda, but Katie's a tough cookie. You can't just dismiss her. And I think that that's what's going to make for a really, really good fight, is that you can count on Katie, I think, being warrior. And even if she's down, she's not going to give in. So it's going to be a really good fight. And Amanda does pack that power.
Elda boxing.
Okay, Sharapova.
Katie's.
Sharapova. I was thinking tennis.
You always come through. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And Esme, our girl Esme, she put team, hashtag
Taylor.
Team Taylor. I mean, whoever wins, I'll be happy. But I'm also believing that Taylor is going to be the one to win. She has such a boxing style. Amanda does too. Amanda's tough. She's strong. She's coming. But for me, Taylor is very, very has a very high ring IQ. Also, I might be a little biased because my head coach at USA Boxing, Billy Walsh, is from Ireland, and he was her national coach. So I might be a little biased, but well,
I do throw out my 2% Irish out there. And it comes up. So that's why I won't completely give up on Katie. I'm just kidding. But I totally see that. That's why it's a tough one to call. I think the fans really, really win with this one, because it's going to be a really good fight.
The fans definitely win. Riding Yogi, yes. That's what I love about this fight too. It can go either way. Absolutely. And it,
Yeah.
yes, no Boxianos. Yes, it is a coin toss.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know,
I said
JC.
I
I
was
think I
biased.
think
Okay,
there's a
I
lot of
am
people
biased.
actually going for Katie.
Oh, absolutely.
He always he
Yes.
always has something smart to say. God.
I just admitted. I said I may be, but that's pretty much saying, okay, I am. But that's what I love about this fight too. And this is what we want to see. We don't want to see those lopsided fights. You know what I'm saying? We
Yep.
don't want to see that. I think only one thinking Katie wins. No, honey, go across the pond.
But
There's a lot more than
wait,
one.
what did you see that? Did you see the comment? The Mendoza, less talking, more twerking. What?
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
Bye bye.
Come on,
Wrong show.
Mendoza.
Wrong show. This
Mendoza.
is exactly what we're
Wrong
talking
show.
about. Women being taken seriously in boxing. We know our stuff. We do our work, and no, we do more. We don't know. No, just wrong show. Somebody
Here
said
we can.
something about
Here, I'm
AB's OnlyFans page. Go to that. I'm sure he's twerking.
there you
You
go.
know.
I was looking
Yeah.
for a sticker here. I was like, oh, you want some twerking? Here we get Mayweather.
Yeah.
You can get Mayweather to twerk for you
Exactly. No,
there.
he can go to AB's OnlyFans page. Lee Grow. Okay, Lee Grows. I mean, he's not wrong too much. He says, I like Amanda by decision. She's a big puncher, but not so much at 135. She has similar style to Delphine Pearson, who troubled Taylor getting greatly in the fight. One and Amanda unlikely. Delphine is a lefty. So yeah, let's see. Like this is the okay. So Jose, Nika already said who she had. She said that she had Serrano. You got to pay attention. This is the problem. You got to
He
pay
just wanted
attention.
to talk
When
to me
women speak,
because
we
I
have
still haven't
something
blocked on
to
Twitter.
say.
He just wanted to say something to me. You're still black, buddy.
Let's talk real quick about this though, Christine. Let's talk about the who's mentally prepared here, maybe equally or
Yes,
one more than another. Let's talk
absolutely.
about that aspect of the fight, right? Because I do think about the pressure on Amanda. She's been asking for this and wanting this, and then here it is, big fight, big payday. It's going to be in New York, right? It's such a big fight. It's like Nika said last night. I mean, it is going to be just jammed packed. I mean,
Oh my
Puerto
gosh, yes.
Rico
the Puerto
is
Ricans
gonna
are gonna be filling up their mouths so bad.
honey,
Let me tell you.
in New York, yes,
It's gonna be the Puerto Ricans
okay.
in there.
yes.
Is 100% going to be that. So what does that do to her? And her getting just mentally prepared, and then Katie, who is also very seasoned, has a lot of fights under her. She's not going to be. She's away. She's coming into another country. She's coming into the States to fight, right? So what is that going to look like for her? So I'm just curious what y'all think in the chat. What do we think from just a mental readiness aspect?
I see LW have good comment there. He says Amanda may have payback on her mind because Katie beat her big. He meant to say her big sister Cindy. Her big sister Cindy.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. That and she does have being in the U.S. and the Puerto Rican fans on her side. I mean, she really does. And D-Style said something here. And we're just kind of like changing gears. We do that. We can do that. It's okay. It's our show. Taylor has a win over McCaskill. Yeah, she does. But McCaskill, Serrano, just saying, they're in different leagues. They're in different leagues. What does anybody else think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you. That we're talking different league and level for sure.
Absolutely. We have to remember that no disrespect to anybody, but there are levels to this, and that's not just a cliche. That's not just a cliche.
Oh, so let's see. What can you read that Nick J comment?
It says, I think it's always easier for the fighter that's not from the location of the fight to stay focused more. And Amanda's from New York, so yeah, she probably has a lot, more to.
That's a good point.
to prove to her New York fans and Puerto Rican fans there. So she's definitely gonna have, more in her
Let's just
mind.
hope she
So
doesn't have
that's a good point.
fireworks ahead of the fight. Let's just hope she doesn't pull a Mikey
But
and has like fireworks ahead of the fight.
her coach Jordan, he got to act right now because ever since he pulled that stunt on 2 fights ago, they shut him up. He got
Right.
didn't he get some fines or something like that
Yeah,
for
yeah. I think
talking trash to the other corner?
right.
So yeah, he can't even talk trash or do nothing this time. So he got to chill.
See,
So
D Styles has a
that's gonna
good
be
point.
interesting.
If the fans from Ireland and UK can travel, which I'm not sure, I need to check with some of my UK and Irish friends, but if they can travel, they do travel, and that's the difference. And we talked about this before. That's the difference between the fans that are across the pond and the American fans, because they will travel. They do, and then if they can't, it will definitely be a 50-50 crowd. It really will.
No, they do because then when Tyson Fury fought in New York, because my job is not that far from the Madison Square Garden. It was like UK takeover, so people were flying over here.
No, they
were
do.
definitely over here, and they were taking over New York. I was like, ooh,
they will.
It looked like home. It looked like home turf for him. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true. They will definitely do that. Sly Tendency says Taylor's over the hill. She's like the wrestler who won't retire. You know what? We did see a little bit of that in her last fight. We did, but then again, her opposition was like out of this world. Like she was top elite, out of this world. She really was.
So impressed.
I mean,
Sharapova.
Absolutely. But she pulled it out. She did the damn thing. She's got so much gut and so much mental control. Like she did it. And there are, you know what? Yes, there are Irish people in New York. I think that's right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't. Like there is.
There's only 2%. Only 2%.
Compare.
But it's not like the New York, the New York Ricans. It's not like
right.
It's not like the New York Ricans.
This is, and I'm thinking about, because we've talked also in the past, how Puerto Rico is looking to fill that gap, right? To find, the next. And it's always referenced to the male boxer.
Yeah, true. Oh my gosh, good point.
Right, but why not Amanda? Like, I think she can come in and help fill in that gap. We have Xander, and so on. But I think this is nice. I think, Puerto Ricans should be, if they're not, just be super pumped and rejoicing because you have, some really great talent, some nice prospects, and you have Amanda like representing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So Toby Bartlett says Katie Taylor doesn't train in the state of New York. Okay, so she actually, my friend, Coach Mark Gregario, she actually goes there and spars there. So I get to hear all the wonderful things that are going on. So yeah, she does come here. Where's Boston? Boston. She goes to Boston and she trains and not exclusively, but she does train there and spar there with my friend Coach Mark, who was on Team USA with me, but now he's obviously doing other things and some bigger things there too. But so yeah, she does. HLD was no. Please like and share, and something else, and there's a couple of women. There's 2%, like you're Irish, Nancy. There's 2%, and most are men. But one thing I want to talk about, we're talking about all the women boxing and the women in boxing, and do y'all feel, and we'll start with you, Nika, do you feel that women embrace other women in boxing? Do they feel like, oh, I'm exclusive, I invented the wheel, it's only about me? What do you think about that? Do you think that women feel that way because we've had to fight and work so hard to break into this sport?
You mean like women, other women supporting other women?
Whatever they do in boxing, whether they be the boxers, media, photographers, coaches, cut women, Do you feel like they embrace other women in boxing, or do they
For
feel
the most part,
like they have to keep it all to themselves?
for the most part, I think they do. I mean, you're gonna have your handful of women who are probably like catty and just like self-centered and think it's all about them and don't want to share the limelight, don't want to share, and there's always gonna be that, and no matter if it's female or male, it's just like that. We're humans. Some people just don't have that, like, want to see other people prosper, or so. But I think for the most part, there women embrace other women doing things in boxing, no matter what position or job they have, whether it be a cut woman, or
Mm-hmm.
a coach. Uh, for the most part, women do support women. I could say that, but I say maybe 2% too, like 2% women.
Well, what do you say, Nancy? I mean, what do you say? I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
answer that, and then we're gonna go forward
Yeah. No,
with my
I
comment.
think what's happened, let's say prior to the last, let's say 3 years, I think that it has been a tight knit circle of women in the
Hmm.
sport, that did have to really like grind and fight through and really hustle, right, to get to where they are. And that circle, um, I think, has started to open up a bit more and let some of the women in, which I think is great. And that's led to some of what we're seeing now. There's Christine, you're a prime example. Like, you have so much experience under your belt. You have such a vast network within the sport, and have just just great path in the sport. And you've embraced, you've ended up uplifting other women, whether it's fighters, whether it's the media. That you're setting the example, and I think we're starting to see more of that. Perhaps not as much as I want, right? Selfishly, but
I think we have a call.
I think we're getting there. Yeah, I think we're getting there.
Hi, you're on the show. This is Christine.
Hi, Christine. This is Lee Groves.
Hello, Lee.
Hello,
How
Lee.
are you?
Hey,
I
Lee.
Doing well. I just called in to make sure that the phone line is still working.
It is working. Can y'all hear Lee well?
I knew it was Lee. I guess, like, he always is a good Samaritans.
I
always
love
get
it.
the first
We can
word.
hear him. Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to check in, say hello. Great show so far. And I do have a lot of Irish in me.
Yeah, you do.
We kind of figured that. So does that
Yeah.
mean that you are going for Katie, or does that mean that you are just going to not say? Are you going to go for Amanda? Like, what? Who do you think? Is it a coin toss?
I think it's a great fight. Historically speaking, I think that it's the biggest or the most prominent fight since Clarissa Shields fought Christina Hammer a few years ago. I think it was in 2018, 2017 or something like that. You can go back to Layla Ali and Christy Martin. You could go to Layla Ali versus Jackie Frazier live, which headlined the pay-per-view. So women's boxing has had some pretty good platforms, but since this pits two of the top three women's fighters pound for pound against each other,
Yes.
As far and both are at the pinnacle of their game. Katie's been up there for a long time. Serrano's been up there for a long time. The styles should mesh very well. Both of them are volume punchers. They bring lots of action. Southpaw versus right-hander, New Yorker versus Irish woman. Both countries and representations are going to be well represented inside the arena. The fans are going to go at it. The fighters are going to go at it.
Yeah, literally.
I have a question for you, Lee.
Lee, Nika has a question for you.
Sure.
Is CompuBox gonna be working that fight?
Sorry,
Did you hear a Concubox? Will Concubox be participating in this fight?
I don't know yet. I would think so.
Okay.
I don't know what network it's going to be on.
Okay. Well, thank you, and we appreciate you so much for calling in and always supporting us. Like, you are like, don't tell anybody, but you're like one of our favorites.
That's a wonderful thing. And now, now that I have proven that the phone line works,
yes.
If anybody else wants to jump in, the water's warm.
The water is warm.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Miss Jackson said, women have always supported each other in boxing. I think the fans make shit weird. I
think that's true sometimes.
I think it could be true.
I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that I wanted to say was that I think that the women that are out there, they do for the most part support. Of course, obviously, we all have our own little situations where maybe we were shunned or whatever. And I personally have seen something on Twitter before where it's like a woman said, I worked so hard to get where I was. Nobody helped me, so I'm not going to help anybody else. And I was just like, poor bitter thing. You poor bitter thing. Because you know what? My very first experience 20 years ago or whatever, 21 years ago, when I walked into a gym, I by another female. I was not, I think I've told this story before. I was treated very badly. It was the men that helped me get to where I am today, thank God. And I said that I would not do that any woman that grew up like me and wanted to be part of this beautiful boxing world that we're in, I was going to help as much as I possibly could. Now
I'm gonna ask you who that is later on when we get off.
We'll get the cheese after.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that doesn't mean every single female that I come across, because that's just like saying I'm going to help everybody in the world that asks for help. You have to be selective as well too. Just because you're a female doesn't mean, hey, you have to really judge a person by their character, and I think eventually when you watch people, you see how they move, see the things they do, then you can decide whether or not you want to lend your hand out, because it goes both ways. I help you, you help me, you help others, not, I help you and you don't help anybody else. So yeah, it's a sticky slope.
I think, I'll put this out there too, is for everybody in the chat, people watching, if there's a female friend, female in the family that has an interest in the sport, that, watches the fights with you, get them to learn more. We have a lot of female boxing fans, but it'd be really great to grow that base. And then with that comes the interest in the actual involvement of the sport, whether it's training or media, etc. So start planting that seed with your sister, la tia, your mom, the vecina.
If you see the interest, help them. Sonteo Media. So Esme has to work. So she's been working on Wednesdays, but as soon as she can join the girls, she's definitely going to come back. She's our sister.
That's an example.
And
that's an example of someone, another female in boxing. She does amazing things. If you don't follow her. Her photography is amazing, but her love, her passion is the kiddos, and it's the amateur fights, and she's capturing those moments. These pictures you see, like there was a social
media. Start a YouTube for that, but I know she has to.
I know. You know what? We're gonna keep working on her. So guys, at the bottom of the hour, we said we had a guest, an up and coming, and he's here. So we are going to introduce him. So we are going to welcome Mykell Gamble. How are you, Mykell?
Hello.
I'm good.
Okay, so for those of you that don't notice his gear that he has on, do you want to just kind of like show him your gear that you have on?
I know. Get up close so we can see. Get up close, like in the camera.
Get up close so we
it's reverse.
can see.
All right.
It's
Oh, okay. You know what? So, duh, I thought it was something else. But what is that
Oh,
gear?
okay.
what
Yeah,
we're
that's
all
my.
with
That
glasses. We're
happens
like, wait a
sometimes.
minute,
You know
what?
what? Look, whenever
Wait, go
you
get my
get
readers, and
over
then it'll
a
be like,
certain age, it's
I
like,
have my
yeah,
contacts on
you
today.
think you see something and you don't. But
Right.
very nice sweater. Very nice. I like it. Very cool.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
so Mykell, you have an amazing amateur background. I mean, you were ranked number one at
Yeah.
123. You've had over 100 fights, and now you're
Right.
professional and you're 3-0. Correct?
Yes. Correct.
Yes. And I first met him. Was it the Maurice Hooker fight?
Um. Yes. In
Yes,
Dallas,
Maurice
right?
Hooker fight. Yes. And so he and Jamel and another fellow boxer of yours, and I cannot remember his name, needed a place to work out. So we took him to a gym, and I had the pleasure of actually doing mitts with Mykell. And
Right.
he
Yeah.
is super talented, super smart. For those that don't know, a lot of times whenever you do mitts with somebody, you kind of have to like get in the same rhythm, the same groove, and
mm-hmm.
like figure each other out. It's kind of awkward.
Right.
It's kind of like dancing or whatever. But
Yeah.
with him, it was just like right on. Like we just vibed
Hmm.
for that
Yeah.
session.
It
So
was.
so I was very
It
impressed
went
with
by
him.
well.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
And I told all your coaches, this kid right here is going to be a superstar. So tell us about you. Tell us where you're at, what you're doing, and you have a fight Saturday. So tell us all about that. I'm going to let you talk. I talk too much.
Okay. All right. So I'm currently in Omaha, Nebraska. Um. Amir Khan is getting ready to fight, so he's having a camp down here. So I actually came in like I say 2.5 weeks ago. I wasn't supposed to fight on Saturday, but they seen how I was looking and stuff, so they just, well, we gonna let you fight Saturday, so you looking good, so they got me to
Okay.
fight. My opponent,
So this is kind of
I
like a
really
short
don't know
notice
who he is.
fight, or
Yeah, it was a short notice fight. I just
uh,
figured out I was fighting about 2 days ago, so
oh Lord, that's
Yeah, because when I talked to you
2 days.
previously, you weren't fighting. Yeah.
right, and now I am fighting.
There you go. That's why it's so important that fighters just
You
stay
gotta,
ready, right? Be
if you
on
stay
deck,
ready, you ain't gotta
stay
get
in the
ready. Yeah.
gym.
Yeah, because
So
it's a lot of times where you would just get a call about getting put on the card, and sometimes you're not in shape, sometimes you are, so it's just best to stay ready.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
especially
Oh,
with the pandemic, we're getting a lot of, you know, uh, positive tests
replacements,
coming in. And so
cancellation.
they're very
Yeah.
quickly looking for placements. Yep. So I'm sorry, where are you originally
Right.
from?
I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nice. Really nice. So yes, sorry, didn't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt. Yeah,
No,
tell
I
us
saw.
more.
So HLD said, "Oh, no wonder." He reminded me of Crawford's personality. So, what do you have to say about that? So do you have any connection with like Crawford's camp? With like, I
Uh,
mean, like, what's the 411?
I'm actually around Crawford every day, so it may be rubbed off a little bit, I would say. Like, he's like a big brother to me, so like I'm around him every single day. I'm watching what he does and stuff. He give me tips all the time. Like today in the gym, I was hitting the bag. I'm cutting weight, so when you cutting weight, it's a little tiring. But he stayed on me, made me keep going. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a positive with that. But also, like, he likes to play, so he rough
Yeah, he
us up
does.
and stuff like that and things like that. And
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I didn't
Yeah,
even think
he
about
does.
that, like if about the staying ready, because you also have to cut weight, so you can't be too far off of your weight if you're fighting this
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Saturday either, too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
oh,
That
actually,
is
for
so
this
true.
fight, I'm not fighting my original weight class. I'm
okay,
originally a 126 pounder, but for this fight, I'm going to fight
Okay.
130.
okay,
Okay,
okay. So
so
it wasn't
so
too much
talk
of a
about. So I mean, I can't
cut.
even say like, oh, you're surrounded by champs, and how does that feel? Because the thing is that you're a champ too. Like, you're definitely
Right.
a prospect that's under the radar. So like, maybe the public
Right.
doesn't know who you are, but people in boxing do, and people that know what you've
Right.
done and what you're about. So how does it feel, all of you champs working together, motivating each other? I mean, obviously you're in Americon's camp. Bud is
Right.
there all the time. Y'all have some of the top of the line coaches. Um, how does that help with your confidence, with your work ethic, and everything else?
Um, it helps a lot because I'm always confident because I know I got one of the best teams in boxing today. So like, I trust my team. So I listen to everything they tell me, and when we're training, if I'm not doing something right, sometimes you have disagreements and stuff like that. But I always listen and just follow what they say because they've been through what I'm going through now. Like Bud
Mm-hmm.
and Amir and Jamel, they all been where I'm trying to get to, and they've been in the same position as me as an upcoming prospect. So yeah, it helps a lot.
Absolutely. And like, what better role models than those three? You know, I mean,
Right.
seriously, especially as a boxer. Um, so Nancy, I mean, hearing all this stuff that he's saying, like, what's going through your mind?
I'm thinking, for first of all, because I got a glimpse into, some of your accomplishments and your career path this far. So congratulations on that. And you're an Olympic medalist, which is phenomenal. So
Junior,
I'm
junior
curious,
Olympic
like
medal.
Junior, yeah, junior.
junior Olympic medalist, yes, junior Olympic
Yeah, but
medalist.
he's also
But
just what, 20? You're barely 20 or 20.
nonetheless,
Like,
you're
Yeah,
headed
I'm
in that,
20.
in that direction. And so I'm just curious, with that experience in the Junior Olympics, what did that give you? Like, what did that give you into the toolbox that you've already been carrying up to that point? What did you, aside from a medal, like, what did you take away from that maybe took you to the level that you're now at?
Well, actually, I medaled, but I didn't get gold. I came in second. So, and I hate to lose. Like that's one thing I hate. I hate losing. So that, it lit a fire in me. Like I just lost. Like, and the way I was feeling, I never want to feel that way again. So I know that I gotta work hard, and I gotta push myself to the limit to where I will never ever lose again. So that's what I learned from.
absolutely. Like, do you have
And
any
you're
questions or comments for him? I'm sorry.
well,
Go ahead,
I
Nancy.
Yeah,
actually
I want to know
I have one
what's
more. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Okay,
go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
yeah,
because
please.
my
No.
screen keeps freezing, so I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I want to know what's the hardest thing you have to deal with since becoming pro, because I know the amateurs and the pro are two different worlds. So what do you think is the
Right.
hardest thing you have to deal with since becoming a pro?
I say it's two things. So one, I was actually supposed to fight another up and coming prospect on Christmas night. So he didn't accept the fight. I'm not gonna say any names or anything like that,
I don't
but
blame him. I don't know who it was,
at
but I don't
this
blame
at
him.
this at this level that I'm at now, I actually want to test myself. I want to fight those prospects out there that's more known to me and stuff because I know I'm capable of beating them. I'm like the dark horse right now. They're
You
more
are,
known
yes,
and
yeah.
they're getting the spotlight and stuff. So I was really, really pushing to get that fight to make a statement in the boxing world. Like
You
I'm
have
really
to
one
text
of
me after
those.
and tell me who
Yeah.
it was.
So,
He probably saw
but
I won't tell nobody.
some footage
Text me
on you.
it's
He was
all
later.
like,
right.
nah, I don't want to take this fight.
Who's
Right,
who's
What's the
been
second
absolutely.
who's
thing?
been your biggest cheerleader since you started the sport? Who's been your biggest supporter?
I'll say my grandma. Like
Oh, I
she
love
Shout
it.
out to Grandma.
really like
Yes.
I made her a boxing fan. So like she knows she could name professional boxers, world champions. Like how you know this? Like, and I didn't know she knew it until I
Wow.
really sat down and listened. Like she really watches over. My dad also, but it's surprising that my grandma knows that much.
Know
So
so much
I was
about the
There's
surprised.
sport.
something about grandmas.
That's cute.
Grandmas
That's so
are
cute.
the stuff. Grandmas are, yeah.
We need Grandma on Women Crushing It Wednesday then.
Right.
Absolutely.
She would.
Absolutely.
She would do this. Yeah, she will.
So
That's awesome.
tell
Hey, so
us.
what's your punch? Oh, sorry.
No,
What's
no,
your
no.
favorite
You go,
punch?
Nancy.
I would say the jab because that is the most important punch in boxing. If you don't have a
Mm,
jab, I mean, some fighters get away with not having a jab, but the top
Mm,
fighters, they always utilize the jab. You know,
yes.
they put it in different positions. You know, they they snap it out there. They use the jab to open up things. You know, the jab open things up. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a jab,
Investigate with that
it,
jab.
it makes it difficult. Right, right.
Absolutely. No,
That's so that's
that's
actually so
that's a
refreshing to
great
hear.
answer.
I feel like we always get like the hook, or we always get
Yeah,
like
the overhand.
the
Yeah, no, but
overhand. But
he's
I
hundred
love
percent
that
right.
because it's the fundamentals. It's that foundational punch, right?
Basics.
Right. The
Yes.
basics.
You can beat somebody with a jab and a 1-2. Like you can beat
Right.
anybody,
The
if you know how to use
basics,
it right.
you can beat anyone with the basics because a lot of fighters
Yes.
don't use the basics. You know, you'll be surprised what you can do with the basics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we are so proud of you. And I want you. So, the first time I saw you and the first time I met you, I was just like, this kid, I told your coaches, I was like, this kid is going to be a superstar, like for real, for real. And I know it and I believed it. And I'm glad we got you before you're like, we're buddies or beyond, and then we can't get a
Right.
hold of you, So I
Right.
appreciate you
No.
gracing us, with your presence. But
Yes.
tell everybody about your fight on Saturday, and if we're able to watch it, like somehow on live stream or whatever, tell us about the fight.
Yes. It's actually a link that will go up. It's a stream that will go up on Friday night. I will send it. I will send it to you all so you all could tune in. But I'm just so ready to fight that like I don't really know what to say. I'm just when you get that,
Oh,
it's like
Just
at
fight
first I
jitters.
wasn't fighting.
zone.
Then once they told me I was fighting, it's like the switch just instantly turned on. Like, all right, it's go time. Like I don't even. My whole mood just changed since the past couple days. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm
That's
locked in.
I
exciting.
hope you keep that hunger like that, because a lot of
Right,
fighters lose
Hmm.
that, and then
right. A lot of
they don't get
fighters can.
excited about fighting. They
That's
just, it's
true.
just like another paycheck. So you should. I hope
Right.
you keep that that
Yeah,
fire in you.
it's bigger than that with me because like I really love boxing. Like I love the sport. Like everything about the sport. Even like I had minor setbacks as an amateur. Every amateur loses and stuff, but
Sure.
like that's what made me who I am today. So like I love everything about it. Like what I went through, where I'm at now, the process of me getting to where I want to be. So when I do get to that, I can look back on this same video like I remember talking about this. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It makes you or breaks
Oh,
you. It's so
Ooh,
cliche,
gives me
but it's
chills.
so true. It makes you or breaks you. But I have one last question before we let you go. So you said you're from Ohio. So how
Right.
did you come to be in Omaha? Like who saw you? What was it? How did you come to go to Omaha to be with, B&B,
Right.
and how did that happen?
So Jamel Herring, right? So he
Yeah,
he
absolutely. We
was
know
Wait,
out of
Jamel.
who's
Cincinnati.
that? I don't know who Jamel is.
He was
Tell him we
just
said hello.
currently world champion, the WBO world champion at 130. So he actually I've been knowing Jamel for years because we had the same coach in Cincinnati, but
Yeah.
he parted ways and stuff. And he ended up. I was watching the progression. I always knew like he could be that like, but he just had to focus. So we was always texting and stuff. We always knew each other. So one day I just text him like, hey, like I'm ready for that next step. Like I'm trying to get better. I'm not trying to be at a standstill. So
Mm-hmm.
I told him he had a long conversation with my dad about it. I felt like we was ready to make the next step and turn professional. So I came out to Colorado to camp. I was sparring everybody out there. Like I just came and just started sparring everybody.
You're like, I'm ready. Let's go show y'all.
Yeah, I was just sparring and stuff. Then I actually was sparring Jamel for the Frampton camp, like the whole
Okay.
camp. So I just started to get used to the team and stuff, get comfortable with everybody. So yeah, I'm actually signed to Jamel. They have a management,
Yes, I know. That's
you know,
awesome.
first to
And
fight. So
Micaiah. So Micaiah was with me up in camp. I love her. I think
right,
she's amazing and
yeah,
so talented. I think you're with great people. Jamel is like one of the kindest people, publicly or behind the scenes that anybody will ever meet.
right,
Absolutely. He takes care.
right. I
Yeah.
feel like him and JC, that's my other manager. They're co-managing.
Yes.
So they're trying to move me this year. So expect a lot from me this year.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna be
do.
fighting a lot.
I've seen what you do. I definitely know that we're not going to be disappointed. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got to know where to follow you.
You can follow me on
Yes.
Instagram at team_gamble. That's my main social media. I actually don't be on like Twitter and stuff, so I'm just an Instagram
That's
guy
okay.
for now.
That's
Stay
okay.
away
No,
from Twitter.
yeah. Twitter can be toxic. So you're doing good.
Yeah.
You're doing
Yeah,
good. No, but
yeah. I
I
I see a
appreciate
lot
you
on
so
Twitter.
much. Yeah, exactly.
And are there
Exactly.
any sponsors or anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
I'm sorry, I actually couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that for me?
No, I was
She said,
asking
are
if
there any sponsors you want to shout out for your fights and stuff on
Um,
Saturday?
I'm actually in a process of trying to get sponsors right now. I actually have one. We're getting sweatsuits and stuff made, but I don't want to really announce it yet until I get the
Okay.
finished product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna
Till you
be
seal the deal.
for my fight.
Nice, nice. That's
But I
wonderful.
want to shout out
We
to
appreciate you.
DMV Academy though
Yes,
for boxing.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
when you
Go
plug
get the
ahead.
your
link,
social
you
media.
definitely have to send it to Christine and us so we could like repost it so people can tune into your fight on
Yep.
Saturday. Is it Saturday? The fight's on Saturday or
Right.
Friday?
It's Saturday night.
Saturday night. Okay.
Look at Nancy. She is so good.
Yeah,
Like she
she's
put your
on
Instagram up there
the social
like with
media
the
game. So
quickness.
she put your link up there. Okay.
Yeah, she is
So yeah,
so
everybody
good.
go ahead and follow him so you can keep up
Right.
with the
Yeah,
stream.
that was quick.
For
She's good.
Well, it's
Well,
thank you so much for making the time because we know you're trying to like stay focused and like you're just
Right.
in zone getting ready. So for you to give us some of your time to get to know you a bit more, we certainly appreciate that. And definitely send us the link. We'll share it with everybody. And there's a few of us that get together Friday nights in what we call the chat. And
yes.
I know that they'll
Watch
really
it
enjoy
together.
watching you. Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You have a good night. Say hi to all the coaches and the team. We're always rooting for y'all.
All right.
Definitely. B&B.
All right. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Talk to you
you.
soon. Bye-bye.
All right.
God bless. Bye-bye.
What a great young man.
Such
He's
a
awesome. He's so talented.
well-mannered
Oh my
young man.
gosh.
I know. So
I love it.
I love to have these like up and coming prospects on that we can like put out there and like so it's good. Ladies, I tell you what, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So
Yeah,
next
it's
week,
been over an
next
hour already.
Wednesday, we are going to be on Nika's channel because I am going to do what
You're going
Nika
to
was
make it.
doing last week. I'm going to Cabo for a week, and I'm gonna get just as bronzy as Nika is,
Yeah, because
or
I got a
more,
nice
probably
tan.
more. I mean, we're already the same,
Yeah.
and you got your tan going on, so we're already the same color. So I'm gonna be way more bronzy. Sorry, girl.
Well, I'm gonna
But
go to the beach
I
this
need a little
weekend,
break.
so keep it up.
Yes, before I go to camp at the end of the month. So we'll be on Nika's channel, and I'll jump on, and y'all gonna see palm trees and stuff in the background. But I'll be there. But any
It's
last
always
words,
needed, yeah.
Nancy?
No, I'm just so excited. That we're kicking off the year with some really great shows. Especially anybody that is following the HCP network.
Oh, yeah. MJ.
Make sure that you're marking your calendar. There's a lot of great shows all week, and I'm just so grateful for everybody that tunes in and that follows. So please share, please like, and man, the chat's always engaged. I love it. So shout out to Writing Yogi.
Yes, thanks,
always
girl. Yes.
representing in the chat. So thank you for that. And
Yes,
everybody else that
someday.
tuned in, Lee for calling in, thank you so much. And I love this call-in feature. So hopefully we get, more people that dial in. So spread the word. And
Absolutely.
I noticed that people are very comfortable behind the keyboard. They don't like to call in.
Right.
Talk the trash that they
I want to
usually
hear
talk
your
on the chat.
yeah, let me hear
Call
your
in.
voice.
Call
What you
in.
saying? Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and then everybody can follow me on Boxing Republic. So that's on Twitter, that's on Facebook, and that's on Instagram. So thank y'all.
Absolutely. Nika.
I'm refreshed. So I came back from Mexico. So just glad
Yes,
to be
you're looking
back.
fabulous, darling.
Safe because I went by myself, so I came back safe. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I was
thanks
praying.
for everybody tuning in. Yeah. Thanks for everybody in the chat for tuning in. Like she said, catch us next week on my channel, Knockouts with Nika. So yeah, thanks for everybody tuning in.
So thank you all. I appreciate y'all. Look, I'm trying to get 1,000 subs, y'all. So can we just spread the word? My girls are helping me try to get there, but I need y'all's help
like
too.
and share, like and share,
It's
like
hard
and
to
share,
get
like and share.
Like and
Oh my God, it's so
share.
hard.
Just saying. But thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight, and we will see you on next Wednesday. Mwah, love to love ya.
Peace.
Bye.